too. So there we go.
Oh, hey girl, how are you?
I am awesome. How are you?
Good. I like your messy mom bun.
Well, it's so funny because, of course, we're doing a show about moms as you're doing your lipstick, and I'm talking about my messy mom bun. Here we go.
That's it. So what do you got going on today?
Well, just got back from driving my kids to school and daycare.
Mhm.
So that's what I do every morning. And then yeah, I've got showings today. I'm working on offers. It's yeah, it's busy. It's yeah.
Yeah, this has been a busy week for sure. I know.
Busier than most, yeah.
Yeah, I took my daughter with me, and we did some video stuff. We were putting a sold sign on, and so I'm getting her to be my
Nice.
right hand woman of videography and marketing while we're homeschooling here in Ontario.
That's right. Yeah, you are too. Wow. And so how do you have you found that beat like homeschooling? I mean, some people are doing that here, but I couldn't even imagine doing that, especially while working and running a business.
Yeah, well, it doesn't come without some challenges, that's for sure.
I
So,
bet.
our routine kind of looks like we get up in the morning, we get breakfast. Some days she's on time for school because she starts early. Sometimes she's still in her pajamas, messy hair, like bedhead. And yeah, I've moved my computer up to our dining room table, as most folks are doing these days. And
Yeah.
that way I can keep an eye on what she's doing. And she's also
Yeah.
got a tutor to help her get through some of these challenges of not being in school, and that gives her one-on-one support. So that's been great.
Yeah.
And the whole virtual online stuff is really challenging because, not everybody, like, she's not paying attention. This morning they had 3 students online. Like normally
Wow.
she would have class. So yeah, it's challenging, and it's challenging trying to schedule appointments around that. And yeah, what about you?
Well, how old is your daughter now, anyways?
She's 7.
7. Okay, yeah, so she's not old enough to stay home by herself, I don't think, right? I mean,
No,
yeah, no, not
no,
even close. No, I
no.
know.
She
I was just,
comes with me. She sometimes jumps in the front of my Jeep. She's driving my Jeep, not literally, but like, pretending, and she's beeping the
yeah,
horn and doing all this crazy nonsense stuff that kids do. And
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
just crazy. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Yeah. And
No,
you were talking before, you've been taking your baby with you.
oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, so so I of course, as you know, I have a 6-year-old son as well who's in grade 1, and thankfully he's in school right now. They're still doing regular school days. And
Yeah.
then I also have a 9-month-old baby, and yeah, I found that I have been taking baby to work with me and to doing some showings and whatnot. I find that during the evening time is when we do so many of our showings because people with quote unquote regular jobs have 9 to 5ers, right? And when they want to go look at properties, it tends to usually be on evenings and weekends. So we've had to hire an evening nanny for the first half of the week while my husband's at work because he typically works graveyard shift. So it's kind of like being solo, for the first half of the week anyways. But having, and I hate to say this, but having iPads when you're driving, and when you're doing showings, I find that that has been almost a bit of a saving grace, just because, it
Is there anybody out
keeps him
there that can agree
occupied.
with this? Or
Oh my
not
gosh,
agree with this?
right?
Like, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like I have COVID brain or something, right? Like my whole brain
There's
is empty. Right.
there's
Well,
screen time, right? And but I also find that yes, we do want to limit the screen time, of course, but
yeah, but that's hard.
when
Let's be real. Let's be hard. Let's be real, because like,
yeah,
to tell your kids, oh, 30 minutes a day, and yet then they want to play, or they're only children, and then they're like wanting you to come play Barbie, or coming you, whatever kids do,
yeah,
right? Like all the
yeah,
stuff that they do, they want to color, they want to, I don't know, they want to go outside, they want to play, and
yeah,
yesterday I had to just take a big deep breath, right? And like, okay, let's go. So I will do some chalk, and I'm trying to message at the same time, and then I'm trying to get and I'm like,
Right.
everybody else, and we're in that on-demand society, so we have to be
Totally.
responsive, right? And that's part of our role and our job, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So yeah,
Well, it's funny because the transition going from having one child to having two children, I found that that was like the transition of having one was, okay, I like we managed. And then of course now having two, it's like, okay, you need to entertain one, while the other one is now needing also to be entertained and or fed or give him a bottle or whatever the case may be, right? And so
yeah, that's gonna
my
be tough, eh?
yeah, it kind of is. Yeah. And, my 6-year-old, I mean, I love him to bits, but he talks so much. He's going through this
Mine
phase where
too,
he's just
mine
talk, talk,
too.
talk, 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 talk. And I have to be like,
Yeah,
okay, Lovey, just, I'm trying to talk. And he's like, Mommy, look at my game. Cause he's so into Minecraft, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, honey, I love you. Just, you got to stop talking for just 1 second. Mommy just needs you to stop talking for 1 second.
right.
And then I need to, like deal with my whatever the case may be on my phone. And then I'm like, okay, what were you saying? And he's like, I
Have
don't
you
know, I'll
gone
forget,
to
Mom.
the grocery store that the same thing happens? Like people stop and look at me and they're like, whoa, because she's talking so much. And I don't know if that's just because like, I don't know, we're busy and they've got our attention and so they're like chatting it up or I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, and then so now I've got the 9-month-old, my younger baby, and he's just in this, he's now exploring his voice box. So he's,
Oh,
making all these
nice.
funny noises. And thankfully he doesn't cry all that much. Like he's definitely not one of those babies that just cries all the time. So I am so grateful for that. But he'll be, baby talking and baby babbling. And, sometimes these like high pitched screams just come out of nowhere. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So if I'm on the line, I mean, I find that for the most time, or like for the most part, people are pretty understanding about it. I always say, oh yeah, well, sorry, this is what have my sons in the background here, and normally I find that people are pretty understanding about it.
Well, I
But
think right now people are really understanding of it. Like you call to order a pizza and the guy's like got kids chattering in the background. And I was talking to the guy and he's like trying to mute stuff and I'm like, oh, you're at home. You're working from home, aren't you? And he started laughing. I'm like, yeah, you can do your kids. And then I was talking to this guy from Google who uh like he's working out of India. And I could hear this like
oh,
beep 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 in the background. And I'm like, where are you? Because we don't have any beep beeps here in Canada, right? And I don't know if I said to him, are you in India? Or if he said, well, I'm in, and yeah, anyhow, he says, I'm in India. And I'm like, that's why I'm hearing those like beep beeps. It was the buses, right? And he's like, oh, it's so hot here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not hot here. It's like freaking snow in here.
yeah.
Well, it's not
Wow. Yeah, it's the world we live in today, right? It's what we
100%.
do.
100%,
Yeah.
and so even now, like I'm checking stuff I've got people messaging, I'm checking
Oh yeah.
is what we do,
Yeah.
right? So
I actually to be honest with you, I actually woke up a little bit late this morning and I almost thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep baby home today because then it's, like school and daycare are on three opposite sides of the city that I live in. So I
yeah,
have to go from my house to all the way to school, drop my older son off, drive all
yeah.
the way to the other side of town, and then go drop my baby off, and then come all the way back home and circle back and come back to my home office here.
Well, and then if you get going appointments and stuff, then you have to like
Yeah.
schedule pickup times and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know one of my
And it's
clients. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, like, it's, it can be kind of a lot because all of the hours don't all happen at the same time, right? Like, I've got,
Yeah,
my
there's
older
no
son, he's in,
structure. Our hours are
yeah,
not 9 to 5, like their school hours or their daycare.
right. And so school, I don't know what it is there, but when I was in school, school ended at 3:10. There's none of this 2:20 stuff. And so now
Yeah.
I have to go pick my son up for 2:20. And of course the
Yeah.
school buses don't go, like the daycare school buses don't go to my son's school. So I have to go
Yeah.
pick him up, drop him off to daycare. And he's got like, it's like a it's called Sun Hang Do. So it's like a martial arts daycare. And then, then I have to hang out there for a little bit. Then I have to go pick my other son up and then pick him back up from Sun Hang Do, bring him back home, and then give him to the nanny who stays until 8 o'clock at night. And then sometimes, I don't even see either of them all day except for when we're driving and I'm like, okay, get dressed, get going, or
You
getting
see them,
dressed.
wait. You see them when you sneak in late at night. Oh, let me check on you. Are you okay?
Yeah. Oh, you look so cute when you're sleeping and not talking. Okay.
And then you're waking them up at like, it's dark out when they see you, and it's dark when you come home, right? They're
Right.
hi.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And oh God, there's a lot of guilt that comes along with that though, like it took me a long
100%.
time to really, because I mean there's no maternity leave for realtors. I mean that they
No,
can,
mine was 2 weeks.
yeah,
2
right?
weeks.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if anybody out there can relate to what we're talking about and you've got this far in our video, that is awesome. Thank you. We love you. And give us a big, huge thumbs up or some hearts or
Absolutely.
whatever platform you're watching us on. We would greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you all next Friday at 1 o'clock.
Absolutely. 10
10
a.m.
a.m.
Love it. Bye everybody. We'll see you then.
Or nobody.
Or nobody.